That's why we're so powerful. Is because as long as people keep using Klarna, Afterpay, credit cards, Capital One, and you are interdependent on the banking system, they have marketed it to y'all. Oh man, we starting to get deep now. We starting to get deep now, ain't we? As long as you guys, we getting deep now, ain't we? As long as you guys love to fly to Tulum and Cancun, and somebody told me that you can finance your flights. You can finance your flight. Yesterday, somebody said, hey, Anton, remember Renter Center? You used to be able to finance Jordans. I said, finance Jordans? Your homes, your cars, your lifestyle, your credit cards, the bottles, the clubs, streets. I mean, for God's sakes, your cities and your states have a credit rating. Your cities and your states have a credit rating. As long as we are the biggest consumers in the world, it's supposed to hurt us. It hurts us individually, and that's why there's only going to be a few of us that ever gets out of the rat race. There's only going to be a few of us that get out of the rat race because it's easier for people to market to you what they think is best for you, because you are the ones that keep us as a world power. Has nothing to do with our military, has nothing to do with our standing, has nothing to do with how much oil we have under our feet, nothing to do with our constitution, the structure of the American people and how we do things on a democratic process. It's our buying power. And as long as you guys continue to consume at a rate that is the equivalent of Dormammu from Doctor Strange, and you need to swallow up and gobble up the world. What is the name of the supervillain that the Silver Surfer was on the Earth destroying for? The Ultimate Destroyer. As long as you guys have a voracious appetite for doing things that's not in your best interest to impress people that don't care nothing about you, there's always going to be a United States world power, and there's always going to be a rich and a poor. This is the way that it is. I could tell you, hey man, lower your spending, but y'all gonna continue to market to yourself, and they're gonna put these little things inside of you, these little hints inside of you that make you think that you came up with a good idea to continue to finance for 30 years. I say, hey man, you ain't got to do that. Don't finance for 30 years. Lower your interest rate. Lower the amount that you make. You're going to pay for that house 4 times over by the time that 30 years is up if you never refinance. If you don't pull the equity out of your home. Hey, pull the equity out of your home so you can duplicate the process. We're going to house hack. We're going to go and buy more properties. And then you go into this voracious cycle where you basically are giving all of your money over into the banks. And as long as consumerism is a thing in the United States of America, which it will be forever, we will always be and have indirectly have the leverage over the rest of the world, because they will always be able to ship products into us to be able to sell. As long as they can continue to convince you, hey man, foreign is better than domestic, you will always, the United States of America could always leverage that over other countries, because we are the biggest and the most voracious. Galactus, is it Galactus? We will always consume more products and more things. When you go out of the country, right? And I know this, they don't like you because you're awesome. They don't think that you're great because you have an American accent. They don't look at you and say, hey man, look at this American. Oh my God, it's crazy. They look at you and they stereotype you. Yes, black man in Querétaro, in Central Mexico. What is this black guy doing in Central Mexico with this camera in front of his face? He is a consumer, an American consumer, and I know that he got some money to spend because he is on vacation. By the time that we wake up and realize the error of our ways, we're too old to make an impact on the generations before us to try to convince them to do anything different, and so the cycle continues. When you go outside of the country, they don't look at you and say, man, look at these awesome people that are coming over here and doing some awesome things. They're looking at you to transform a neighborhood. They're going to eat for the next 6 months based off of what you spend. We built whole countries. We made sure that their economies were thriving and booming based off of our consumerism. We've built entire economies because you can't stop for 5 seconds and say, you know what? It's not best for me to spend this way. The consumers are the power. The people are that's why they say power to the people. If you look at a politician, they're not doing things based off of their own merit. They're doing things to stay in office that is dictated to them by the people that voted them into office, which is why it's so dumb for Democrats, for black people to stay Democrat. Listen, I'm not even saying that y'all all got to switch over to being Republican. But when you have such a disproportionate of people that are on one party, that is the worst thing that we can ever do, because they don't have to offer you anything. And the only thing they have to do is incentivize you to continue to do the same thing, which is put yourself in a dire situation, which then causes you to make an emotional decision on what you're going to do next, which also pours into your voting patterns. The only reason the majority of these women voted for Biden is not only that they didn't like Trump, but Biden had promised them that they was going to forgive their student loans. So it's easy for them to dangle and carrot in front of your face that is paid for by the American people that they didn't even fully deliver on, because you're under duress. Do you know why they put cash advances in poor communities? Because most people don't even realize that paying 475% interest on a paycheck that you don't even have yet is going to keep you under duress, because if you're making a quick decision because you're under duress, you're often at times going to make the worst decision. This is why I led with this whole narrative in the beginning and said, when we make emotional decisions, we often at times make the worst decisions for ourselves. You shouldn't even be considering Klarna. You shouldn't even be considering Afterpay. You shouldn't even be considering these things. This should not even be an option in your Apple Pay. Shouldn't even be an option in your Apple Pay. But you'll look at this and you'll say, yeah, check yourself. Check yourself. If you ain't got a mirror, open up your camera on your phone and look at it and say, I am an idiot spender. I am propping up and making people richer every single day by being a consumer and not investing in myself. I am the one that's giving China, Europe, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, and every other country inside of the world their power. I am a sucker because when I go to these other countries, I think that they like me, not necessarily because I'm just a good person, but because I'm the person that's going to prop up the entire community inside of these neighborhoods by spending money and thinking that I am a sucker because I'm going out the country to pay for box. I think these women really like me, but they really don't. I am a sucker that continues to vote for the Democrats that don't work in your best interest, but they actually just still trying to stay in power. And they believe the same things that Trump believes. And they know that Trump is doing the right thing, but they got to go against him in order for you to make sure that they got a job. I am on the Democratic plantation. That is what you are. You are the person that has given us our power to control the world, and you don't even realize that you're the person that's pouring into Trump's plan that gives him the power to levy these tariffs in the first place, because you are going to continue to be a Listen. You Democrats that are under duress and saying that you can't even afford to breathe in the price of eggs, you are the ones that give Trump his power to be able to levy these tariffs to make the things and do the decisions that's in our best interest. You are his power. The most neediest middle class amongst you are the ones that's giving him the power to levy these tariffs. You don't even see the cycle of retardation that you are implementing, yet you're voting against your own best interests. You are his superpower. There were mutants in some of these X-Men, and I'm going to move over to the next thing. I'm going to go over to China. There are mutants in these X-Men franchises and all of this stuff. And one of their powers is that they absorb other people's power in order for them to become more powerful. I think Kevin Bacon had played into one of those roles. Like the more that people went against him, Godzilla, right? Godzilla, the more that they nuke him, the more that they throw nuclear powers at him and bombs, it empowers him to become even greater of a force to do whatever it is that he's going to do. Thank God that Godzilla's on our side, right? I'm every day I entertain you, but I'm trying to unlock you. I'm trying to teach you to think outside of the box. Think outside of the matrix that they put you inside of. This is not me yelling at you. This is me giving you the tough love that you need so that you go back to the drawing board and you look at what place you have in life, and you are 20, 30, 40 years in the game, and do you realize that you have nothing? Obama sold you hope so that he can keep you on a Ferris wheel, so he can keep you on a hamster wheel. If you don't have the amount of money that you need after being on this earth for 2, 3, 4 decades straight, don't you realize that you are the play? You the John. And America is the pimp, baby. You haven't realized that you are a part of the system that keep women selling box on the streets. You the John. And you keep trying to justify paying for box. Boy, you the John. Paying for box is the equivalent of voluntarily putting yourself in financial slavery to impress people that don't care nothing about you. You have become a part of the very system that keep pimping alive, baby. You are the sucker. If you looking around and you trying to figure out who the play is, you the play. You think that the system is built to help you? The system is built to keep you keeping everybody else rich when you don't understand how the system works. You thought you understood how the system works because you think it's racism. It's not racism, it's class. It's a class war, baby. Everything that you do, keep the system propped up. I'm trying to unlock you, but you don't like the way I said it, so you feeling some type of way. I'm trying to tell you how to move differently so that you can then put yourself on the other side. You can be on the receiving end of the resources instead of the person that's just pushing into the system, pushing into the system. Now you upset because you don't, he telling me I can't buy my Sheen dress, but I got a Temu deal. Suckers. Dangle a carrot in front of one person to keep 1,000 people oppressed. I got a swimsuit line that I sourced out of China. Dummy. Who gonna pick our fruits and vegetables if it ain't no more migrants out there? For some reason, your fruits and vegetables haven't disappeared. All of your strawberries are still on the shelf. Everything you see around you is designed to do something to you. If you cannot recognize, if you go in a grocery store, they know, right? Because I understand retail and I've done a lot of consulting and I understand UX, UI. They know that, don't you know that they pay for shelf space? That part of the profitability that comes from retailers is that paying for shelf space is very profitable. End caps, right? Because they understand how you move through the grocery store to make sure that they keep everything at eye level. If you go into a different country, right, and you go into the grocery store, it's going to be a completely different layout than what we see inside of the United States of America. Don't you know why? Don't you know it's more profitable and it's easier? Look at me. Look at me. I'm exploding out here. Don't you know that it's profitable and easier to sell to you when they know how to market to you and when they know your habits? If you understand people, then you understand how to make money from them.